Inversion or fronting with so. Sentences such as, so says the preacher. So began the fight. Are they an example of inversion? I searched around, but all I could find was that the inversions with so can happen with only auxiliary verbs, not the whole verbs. But I know for sure these sentences are grammatical. So what grammar structure was used with these sentences?
These are not examples of either fronting or inversion, although both of those grammatical structures are often explained using sentences starting with so. Typically, fronting with so uses the word so as an adverb. See this URL for examples. In the examples given by the op, so acts a conjunction rather than an adverb. So began the fight should be parsed as, because of the information given in previous sentences, the fight began. So says the preacher is equivalent to, the preacher says, the information given in previous sentences. These sentence structures are unusual in modern spoken English, and are a bit formal or archaic sounding. I'd only use them if I was deliberately trying to use a biblical register. Examples of the same sentence form are, thus spoke Zarathustra, or, and so all the rest of the human race will come to me, all the Gentiles whom I have called to be my own. So says the Lord. Acts 15 verse 17. In any case, they are just examples of starting a sentence with a conjunction, not inversion within a sentence.
These can be analyzed either as instances of subject-dependent inversion, or as subject postposing. One reason for choosing the latter is that postposing of the subject is entirely optional. Notice that in the original poster's examples the two instances of so are quite different. They are both used as anaphoric proforms, but are being used to represent quite different types of phrase or clause which both have very different grammatical functions. So says the preacher. So began the fight. In the first sentence, so is the complement of the verb say and represents a content clause. In 2, so is an adjunct meaning something like in this way. When anaphoric so is preposed like this, we can also postpose the subject. This is optional as can be seen from the examples below. So the preacher says. So the fight began. Notice that so must be stressed in the last example, probably to distinguish this usage from the usage of so as a connective or conjunction. The grammatical status of the proform, so makes a big difference to the effect of postposing the subject. When so is the proclause complement of the verb say, the subject postposing is quite normal. However, fronting of so used as a manner adjunct gives quite a literary effect. So endeth the lesson, so began my first term, and so forth. So is not a conjunction, or conventional discourse connective in either of the original poster's sentences, although the word so can be used as a connective as is illustrated below. He took my ice cream, so I punched him on the nose.
So at the beginning of a sentence is a summing up device, asterisk so began the fight, but equally an inducing agent preparing us for the narrative that follows, asterisk so goes the rumor. There was a meaning like this. As a parts of speech, so is an adverb or coordinating conjunction. Asterisk I am so sorry. Asterisk he was ill, so he could not attend. It means slash like this slash thus slash in the manner slash to the extent, relevant meanings only. An adverb may be placed at the beginning of a sentence for modifying a whole sentence, anaphoric proform, or simply for emphasizing. Take for example. Asterisk down went the Titanic. In the example of preacher, so it means to me like this, and that of fight, thus. So is adverb in both the examples, nothing more. Subject-verb inversion is not that common as is subject-auxiliary inversion. Still it has evolved into a distinct pattern in which the verb should not necessarily be an auxiliary verb. Inversion is not limited to auxiliaries only. Cf. Asterisk beside the bed stood a lamp. Admittedly, rupture of the canonical order takes place mostly in holy books, ecclesiastical writings, short stories, or literal pieces. It is said that introductory adverbs or adverbials are used with be/linking verbs, asterisk so be it, and verb of direction, asterisk so contursi. So in the sense thus / like this can't be used with almost all the verbs in inversion. Of course, necessity primarily dictates discretion.
Is also the term,